Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Gyle here, and welcome back to the Forged Alliance Forever promotional series. I've got some custom 4v4 action on Canis coming your way. I've actually been sitting on this replay for a while. I took a bit of a break from casting Canis games because they played a hell of a lot, and I was kind of getting slightly bored of the map, to be honest. But the replay vault has been playing up today, so I thought now is as good a time as any to bring you this average Joe's, and it is an average Joe's. I haven't put that in the scrolly, texty title thing, but you know, I've said it verbally. That's good enough for you, I'm sure. Anyway, like I said, it's going to be 4v4. It's going to be on Canis. Let's go over to the game zone and see how these guys are going to get on. And as always, we're pretty familiar with the whole system now. We'll call this Team 1 up here at the top and this Team 2 down at the bottom. We'll take a look at the actual players and how they stack up. For Team 1 up top at the top left-ish in Hallie Orange, it's WSL, or Wassel, as I'll probably be referring to him because that rolls off the tongue and is slightly amusing at the same time. And he's going Seraphim, opening first air, going that rear guard air position. Going to get some early planes out, I'm sure. His teammate to his right, and the player number 2 for Team 1 is Chico, and he is going Cybrin Elephantine Grey, and opening first land. And to his right over here, in what can only be described as Volvo Beige, it's Deja Vu, and he actually isn't an average Joe. He's quite significantly up there. You can see 1989, decent ranking there, global rankings. Everybody else is below the cutoff point, 1500, but of course the mean, the average for this game is below 1500, so I'm calling it an average Joe's. Anyway, he's going Seraphim, opening first land. And last but not least, running front position here for Team 1, it's Bocky, and he's also going Cybrin, Ferrari Red, opening first land. So that's Team 1. We'll take a look at Team 2 down here at the bottom, and already on the move, it's Black Phoenix in Baby Blue. He's going Seraphim, opening first land. And to his left over here in Lurid Green, it's Jultek. He's going Aeon, also opening first land. And team member number 3 for Team 2, also on the move there, is Soviet Pride, and he's going Cybrin, opening first land. And last but not least, in Breast Cancer Awareness Pink, I haven't got him in shot, it's Nicky Royal, and he's going, like I say, UEF and opening first land. So those are the players and how they stack up. And it's interesting to see if we take a quick look at what we've got down here. So Black Phoenix is 1303, and Soviet Pride's kind of 1459. Jultek's a 941. Nicky Royal 1115. So it's kind of, I guess they're balancing Deja Vu on Team 1 with Bocky, because Bocky's only running 481. So they're kind of giving them the top player and the bottom player in terms of rankings. But I don't know, I always feel a high-level pro is worth his weight and some more. He can carry a lower-order position. So we'll have to see how well this works out in terms of balance, but I'm sure they will make it work somehow. On the move over here in the east, Black Phoenix is moving quite far forward up to that right-hand plateau over there, and he's definitely making more of a move than we've got coming out of Team 1. Chico is on the move, but way back here, Wassel's decided to stay in his base. He's spamming together power grids as best he can. And as we would expect, we've got the bottom player on score, Bocky there, short stacking. So it is kind of running Deja Vu at the top. It is running kind of how you would expect in the initial throws of this game. But an early little jester out from Chico, runs through, grab the odd unit. Looks like he's grabbed a couple of engineers in there, so that might have slowed up Nicky a little bit. He's moved forward to grab this hydro, and also fortified as well. He's placed a land factory around it and some point defense. Bomber circling over there from Deja Vu promptly gets shot down by Jultek, so he's on the air coverage. Very nice to see. And Chico with another jester, this time heading southwesterly, probably going to come down to this rear corner and pick up some engineers or something. But nice little bit of work there from Wassel. Bomber coming overhead, and that might have potentially altered Soviet Pride's plans as he's forced to micro a little bit. Of course, he could happily tank those bombers for the moment until the cows come home. Just sit back and produce Sky Slammers out of those land factories right next to him, which seems to be the order of business. That Giesta from Chico has moved on. He's looking for engineers to kill. He's picked up one there from Soviet Pride. Jultek finally gets his interceptors involved and picks it off. But all of the kind of general harassment at the moment seems to be coming out of Team 1's corner. Team 2, however, grabbing a little bit more land, I suppose you could say, in general. You've got Deja Vu moving forward, you've got Chico moving forward, but Wassel and Bocky still very much centralized in their base with their ACUs. But everybody is making a move for Team 2. They're all expanding. Soviets taking the far left, as you would expect. Nikki is moving forward, and the eastern edge of the map north of the river is being handled very nicely by Jultek and Black Phoenix. More bombers coming out of Wassel. Going after ACUs, though, not ideal. There's a lot of engineers he could be picking up around here, and these are engineers that are currently building static anti-air as well, which would be quite a high priority if he could pick those off. But all of these things come with practice. This is probably a situation I would be in, around about the same kind of level as I am, around that sort of 1,000 mark-ish. So it's a very vast difference between players of this standard or that kind of standard and the upper level pros. You'll watch the pros bring in the bombers, pause it nicely and micro it perfectly, pick up multiple engineers in one bombing run. It's quite the thing to have the knack of, and can be incredibly destructive if you do it properly, but still not making the best use of them. And it's now Wassel who's actually short stacking on score. Hockey not doing too badly, so they might have Deja Vu running the top for Team 2, but not doing brilliantly in terms of expansion and eco. But I'm liking the amount of harassment that they're still doing. I just think it's not exactly working out as well as it could be. Black Phoenix throwing an upgrade on his comm there. Easy old Jultek could be assisting that hydro. Why not? Help your teammate out. But I'm actually amazed at how little harassment has come north in this game. These are the first few units coming north at all, I think, pretty much, other than the odd scout plane. It's from Black Phoenix. 5 THAMs or so going to run straight into Deja Vu's commander, who's also on an upgrade. He's going to be able to swap those down without any real difficulties at all. And still, Wassel determined to send these bombers out down here. He's correctly asserted that this is a forward position and it doesn't have any shields or anything like that, but there's far too much anti-air and stuff around here now for him to really gain any traction. He's not really going to hold these guys up either. He's just kind of throwing wrecks at them now. Phoenix asking for a scout again up here, I think it was. It's getting a bit of a ping maybe. And a nice little run-by, perhaps, over here in the western edge by Soviet Pride. Going to turn up at exactly the right time as long as he keeps pushing north. There's a bunch of build capacity here for Chico, trying to finish an auto gun. If they hang about, they can kill all of that build capacity and prevent that from going online, but not going to manage it. That auto gun will eventually succeed in securing that position. The question is, how many engineers is he going to lose in the process? Another Mantis turns up. But it's one of those little things in Subcom. Timings can be quite comical, but Nikki pushing forward with some ground troops now, getting in amongst this forward base of Chico, but Chico emerges from the river and is about to start taking Triad fire. I think that's safe to say. They don't have good intel, otherwise that Triad would have been firing on him the moment he came out of the river. Had to wait for him to come into view. Nikki pulls back that T1 to help put some extra damage on that Cybran comm. And Chico's going to back off into the water. Soviet Pride's also going to withdraw slightly in the face of a whole bunch of combined T1 from Bocky and Chico. And some tac missiles coming north now from that forward base. I'd imagine this is a mass sniping mission. Where's it going? Straight after that T2 next to Boki's comm, next but one. And that's a wise choice, actually. Of course, that's got all of the mass storage around it, so that's going to be a larger economic hit to Boki than it would be going for the other one. But now an advance from Boki on this position. From Nikki trying to finish a third triad as well as a plasma cannon. Mantis gets under the shield and starts working on T2 point defense. The shield goes down in the process. And now just one triad left, and this is when you really want to have some operating T1 PDs. Chico emerges from the water as well. Manages to finish at least one of them, and in comes some reinforcements there from Soviet Pride. I'm amazed they didn't take out that TAC missile launcher that has 18 hit points left on it. Unreal. Manages to launch another TAC missile. Where's it going this time? Surely that other T2 mech's right by Boki's comm. There it goes. That's incredibly annoying for Team 1. They'll have wanted to snag that. It did somehow die in the process. Some straggler managed to get it, but it got off that last missile. And now, once again, all was calm throughout the house, except for one tiny engineer flirting around the edge of a blue wall. It really hasn't done a great job at seeing things off. Of course, the engineers can just come up to them and reclaim their way through anyway. Units heading south there from Chico, but this horde of Mantis from Soviet Pride stopping them in their tracks. We're starting to see some T2 units on the field now from Boki, full of rhinos, and he's determined to break this position. I don't blame him. And this time, Nikki hasn't done a great job at resurrecting the defenses. He's just finished the replacement triad, starts work on another one, and Chico comes forward again. It's kind of a tandem attack they've got going on there with T1 and T2 ground from Boki, and Chico's comm comes in and out of the water. Just enough to nuke that position and stop Nikki from securing it. There's just too much ground there, ground units, ground force from Soviet Pride for them to properly evict him. And it's very even now in terms of map control, looking at almost exactly 50-50, I'd say. Deja Vu running away with the eco things, 86 mass, Soviet Pride 56, Black Phoenix 70. So very much the guy you would expect to have the largest eco. Running away with it a little bit, but one single solitary hero, Ilsheva, moving into the northeastern corner of this map, and just wants to push up here and murder all this build capacity. Do it! Get in there. Do it. Do it. But units turn up to defend. A single Tham comes out of that factory, doesn't get too far, but 3 Vulthus should get the job done. And I'll manage to keep that mass extractor safe. A couple of bombers in for good measure. Why not? Down it goes. It's quite a sedentary game, this. Very static, very stationary. We're having a little bit of action going on over here, the odd little bit of action over here, but otherwise it's eco-whoring all the way. Still, Nikki persists with trying to secure this position. I don't blame him. He's a front player. His job is to grab as much territory and secure it as possible, so he's doing the right things. But neither team at the moment looking like they're getting in the mood to do any turtle breaking. They're happy to sit back and eco. TAC missile launcher operational once again in that firebase from Nikki, this time heading in a more westerly fashion. Sails right into a forward T2 mechs there for Chico. Deja Vu running away with Eco, 127 mass per tick and 17.5k on reclaim. How's that looking against everybody else? Well, significantly better than everybody else on the field by a comfortable margin. The next sort of highest are around the 9,000s, and he's on 17,000, and that's what I mean by having these key high-level players. They're sometimes worth more than two players. They know what they're doing. Attack missile reprioritizing. Now, this time looking like it's over here towards this fire base of Deja Vu over in the east. Selects a land factory. But look at this nice little push from Nikki. Equipped full with Mongoose in that little pack. Runs past Chico's comm. Chico blapping away at them as they go. Trying to get into a position where they could do some damage, but they're going to run into a bunch of rhinos stationary right outside the front of Bocky's base. They change tack, move in a more easterly direction. Looking for Mexes. It's a decent decision. Vulthus, meanwhile, over in the east from Deja Vu. Promptly knocked out, though, by Jultek's horde of interceptors. It's definitely the main force in the air in this game so far. Having said that, we do have T3 air over there for Wassel. We've got some ASFs and fighter bombers, and quite a lot of them coming out of Black Phoenix as well. And that forward firebase has succumbed to a nice little Ilshiva push there. Down it goes, complete with shield gens, T2 power gens. That's a nasty little loss there for Team 1, who are under pressure over in the west as well. Soviet Pride making a nice move in with a whole bunch of hoplites. Some Mongoose there as well from Nikki. These forward factories being destroyed one by one. Chico is backed up with his comm, but he wants to keep it close. Does he have access to overcharge? Yes, by quite a considerable margin. 24,000 stored up power. So that could well come in handy in the face of all of that T2. Meanwhile, in come small little harassment band of troops there from Black Phoenix. Deja Vu's very chunky looking commander will find no challenge in knocking those aside, but Team 2 might well have spied that Ithota, that chicken that's under construction there. So we've reached experimental stage under the 20-minute mark. That's very much what everybody is going for in this one. That's why we haven't seen a huge amount of action in the early stages of this game. Very much a experimental play, I think. Forward Vipers there over in the west for Soviet Pride, just working on these straggled structures left by previous occupation from Chico. A few more units coming across that land bridge, but not going to get a whole lot done with those, I shouldn't think. Meanwhile, a few units still alive from Black Phoenix up here in the northeast, in the edge. You can do with moving this forward. There's a T2 Mex that's actually 23% done on its way to a T3. Knocks that down. That's quite the investment. Of course, there is this T1 PD in place. He has got Zuis, though, so he could deal with that nice and easily. However, a few Zuis and an Otham T3 siege tank closing in on their position. That Phoenix is probably aware of it. Instead of going for the PD first, he's just going straight after the mechs. Has managed to deny it. He's going to lose the rest of those units in the process. That was probably always going to happen, though, thanks to the presence of that Otham. But in the meantime, he's also snagged the mechs at the top right as well. But look at this. Experimental's online at exactly the same time. Wassel and Deja Vu heading south almost in tandem with a couple of Ithotas, and Nikki Royal What can he see, if anything? He can see them. He's got the intel. But they haven't been scouting brilliantly. And there goes the shield. And Nicky is well exposed. He's going to be the first one to leave this game. I'm certain of it. Minute 21 and 3/4. Bang. Down he goes. And Team 2 are the first to lose a player. In comes Gyle with some restorers. Should be able to knock down this chicken. It's also straying into this kind of area of no man's land here from Soviet Pride. He's been dotting Cerberus turrets around, but he's also got a horde of hoplites that fire a volley into the side of the chicken. Chicken turns, wants to try and attain veterancy if it can, but I think it might be too late. It just runs out of hit points. Down it goes. Of course, Iron Storm will probably be successful in knocking out a couple of Cerberus turrets, maybe even this Zapper here. A nice little successful run by. Has got a few T1 units up here at the top, but maybe limited in what he can do with that. Meanwhile, of course, this chicken for Deja Vu still alive, and Gyle eats a plasma ball of death in the face, and there's another one incoming. He's on the move, 1800 hit points. The chicken is in pursuit. The restorers are on it. Of course, he's not going to be able to submerge his head underwater, that chicken, so he'll have no reprieve from these gunships or these Nothers from Black Phoenix. They're not going to be able to get any air units in to destroy them. I don't think there's too many interceptors. There is a nasty horde of ASFs there from Wassel. Can he get in and clear it is the question. Gyle, meanwhile, leading the chicken straight to Black Phoenix, who says, "Thanks a lot, buddy, you jackass." And then, like a boss, turns and knocks it out. It says that's how it's done. That's some serious commander showing off right there. Like your styly. Meanwhile, it looks like Soviet Pride's been busy. He's working on Monkey Lord production, has one operational and another one in production as we speak. Monkey Lord heading north. Its current waypoint is Snifter just south of the river there, right in the center of the map. He's also going to bring back some of this T1. Potentially knock out a mechs here and there. There's a lot of T2 out front there for Bocky. He's doing a pretty good job, all in all, for a 481 chap. Not that global ranking means all that much in the grand scheme of things. You never know if it's someone who's new to the game or someone who's just rediscovered FAF and come back. It's unlikely to be a Smurf since Zep has just purged them all. Thank you very much to him for that. No smurfing allowed, thank you. But the ASFs for Wassel just a little bit insufficient in number there to knock down the restorers, but Gyle flies over the top of all of those bangers and loses all of his interceptors. The ones that don't die are going to get mopped up by the ASFs there from Wassel. But why Soviet Pride isn't sending in this Monkey Lord to knock out all this flak, I don't know. It would allow Gyle to use those restorers once again. And this is the problem. They've got decent air coverage now, Team 1, but no gunships to attack that Monkey Lord with. So Bocky is busy engaging in a game of here we go round the hill, trying to avoid that Monkey Lord. The trouble is there are also loyalists on the field as well in this horde of Mantis. By the time it makes this pass, there's not going to be much left of that army. 3 Monkey Lords operational now for Soviet Pride. Where's he getting all this mass from? Reclaimed 35,000 to Deja Vu's 25,000, so he has reclaimed like a boss. Very nicely done indeed, and he's starting to work on a Soul Ripper as well. Their team is going to need to work on their air control, though, if they're going to want to take full advantage of a Soul Ripper. At the moment, it's looking very even in the air game. Chico has started producing ASFs. We've got a nasty, hardy band of ASFs there from Wassel. Wassel. I think I might name my first son Wassel. Seriously awesome name. Anyway, back to the game. On goes those 3 Monkey Lords, making their way up the western edge of the map. Have we got some waypoints to see? Not at the moment. Their rally point is here. They could cause some major troubles, though, sneaking across the river They get in here, 3 experimentals. Of course, Monkey Lords aren't the tankiest of walking direct fire experimentals, but nonetheless, they will do serious amounts of damage. A little bit of an air engagement there, but Jultek not currently packing enough punch to deal with all of those combined Inceptors from Chico and Wassel. Need someone else to go ASF with him, and it looks like he's got what he wants. Black Phoenix starting to produce some now. But this is kind of an unusual wheeling process going on. Of course, Team 1 have probably no idea as to the location of those Monkey Lords. Take a look at Deja Vu. And his vision over comes an ASF. Now they'll know where it is. Surely. And that will be a scary thing to see. Are they going to turn around is the question. Yes, they are, but maybe it was just in the face of that Soul Ripper. Deja Vu screams for air. Trouble is, there's so much anti-air coverage here. A ton of bangers, and in one pass there from Wassel's ASFs, another pass from Chico. Surely that Soul Ripper's not going to make it back to base. If it does, it is going to just crash in kind of neutral territory, but I think Soviet Pride's got enough on the ground there that he can get in there to reclaim it. But meanwhile, those Monkey Lords are crossing straight into the back, and Wassel's comm is right there. What, if anything, can Soviet Pride see? Oh, go for the commander. That's so very close. Where the hell has Chico gone? Nowhere. He's got the stealth. He's got stealth. That's immense. But a very handily placed Monkey Lord gets completed there for Chico. Wassel is somehow still alive. Oh no. And Soviet Pride is wheeling away from him towards that Monkey Lord, trying to save that other one, which didn't manage. That other Monkey Lord is missing with his laser. Does manage to finish it off, but there's a ton of Cerberus turrets, and all that they've managed to do really so far has just to place a ton of mass on Team 1's doorstep. And Chico cheekily jumping in and out of the river there manages to blap one of the Monkey Lords down. There's still one of them though rampaging through Team 1's base. I cannot believe how lucky Wassel's been. He hasn't got much of a base left. Chico loses a T3 power plant as well, but I think they're going to be able to manage to keep most, if not all, of their core stuff intact. And of course, they now have so much mass to reclaim over here. That could be major issues for Team 2, who instantly are making another little push over here from Black Phoenix. Quite a large number of Othams moving through this little valley here into a heavily shielded portion of Team 1's base. Deja Vu comes in to support with some siege tanks of his own. First one drops, and then goes the second. They might get in, but I don't know how much damage they're going to cause. More Othams in the main base as well, and a nuke launcher that is completed with the missile half finished as well in the clip. Do with taking that down, although I think it's unlikely. The commander's nearby as well. He's going to be overcharging anything that gets too close to that nuke launcher. And Black Phoenix just runs out of forces. In comes a wave of Nothers there from Black Phoenix as well, but they're going to get mopped up by the defending ASFs, but Jultek comes into support as well and gets a nice angle of attack on Chico's ASFs, takes out a large portion of them. So Team 2 on the way slightly to reclaiming some control of the air. Another Monkey Lord in place there for Soviet Pride, who's also got the field position to scoop up the mass from that Soul Ripper wreck. Team 1 need to get some engineers on some of these wrecks. They need to be spamming out more experimentals ASAP. And that nice little engagement there, that air engagement for Team 2, has allowed Jultek to break out the restorers and go after this Ithota. The problem is there are still a bunch of bangers in the area from Boki. Gunships don't like flak, it is fair to say. Down they shall go. I'm pretty sure that Ithota's going to get away. There's a bit of pinging going on saying kill the flak first. And away he's going to have to break. He's not going to be able to complete that. But another attack looming from Black Phoenix, who's really pumping out the T3 land from this little production base down here. His forward factory T3 HQ right there, and 4 regular T3 factories next to it. Giving him huge production capacity. He's got a nice bunch of sniper bots around here as well for extra support. It's going to help him with these experimentals, certainly, but Deja Vu's also posturing with his own troops lining up, wants to keep this door shut, doesn't want another attack coming in. He has still got this bank of T2 PD, which really helped him, but as soon as we look at it, that nuke launcher lines up and fires.
Strategic launch detected.
The question is, where's it going? Going straight for Black Phoenix, who hears the nuke siren and gets a move on just in case he's the target. And guess what, my friend, you are. Jultek also moving his comm, always a wise thing to do when you hear that little warning, just in case the enemy has located your commander. You want to get moving, but no nuke defense for Team 2 means Black Phoenix will be down 1 base. Boom, baby! Ton of engineers there for Jultek get caught in the explosion. Soul Ripper now online there for Soviet Pride, and now we're getting this engagement finally kicking off between these 2 groups of siege tanks. That Ithota finally going to succumb to the sniper bots and Otham fire. Those Othams of Deja Vu going to continue to push forward. He wants to knock out those sniper bots, which is a wise decision. He's actually going to win this little engagement. He has lost an experimental, of course. Yet more experimentals coming out from Soviet Pride, who's been an absolute mega spider, soul-ripping gunship experimental bot superstar. He's been pooping them out every couple of minutes. That would be enough firepower to deal with the last of those Othams without any difficulty whatsoever. And rather unsurprisingly, the nuke defense is being hastily built and assisted. Has Jultek decided to go for one in the main base? He hasn't as yet. I think that's probably a mistake. He needs to get on that. Soviet Pride should have enough on the field up here to stall any attack that's imminent from Team 1, but that is an arse washer under construction there. Experimental bomber. And that could cause serious problems. Jultek at least has a nice large number of ASFs to his name now, so he's doing credit to his team. That may well come to play a large part in this by the time that experimental bomber gets finished. If of course it does get completed. There are no guarantees. Sniper bots just firing away at the rear ends of Boki's units as they fall back to a nicer position. Another chicken out for Deja Vu. It's unreal. I wonder how many that is now that's come out of his corner. See, he's got a decent eco together there. Won't be too long before that boy's finished. Chicken trying to knock down as many of those Othams as he can, but Monkey Lord gets in range and nicely covered as well by Soviet Pride. And he manages to get a kill there for no real damage taken on board. Soviet Pride moves up a couple of Viper missile launchers as well, going after this bank of PD. Also got another Monkey Lord over there in the west from Chico. But this is going to be close. I think this might well be an exchange of experimentals, and that lovely rank up there gives a nice boost to HP. Phoenix comes in at exactly the right time with these shield gens. He can now go after these bricks of Bockies. Just needs to take those out first, and they should be in good shape. But a Colossus turns up at the right time as well for Jultek. Oh, but this is a shame. The operator of that Monkey Lord went on strike over pay, and it cost him his life. Hopefully there's enough firepower left on the field there from Jultek to continue that push forward, but that's a lot of Vulthus in the sky there from Deja Vu. Who's going to bring those in and go straight after the Colossus. In come that wave of ASFs from Jultek to defend the experimental. Question is, does Team 1 have enough air power to fend them off? No, they don't. Down goes the last of the Vulthus, and there's still 91,000 HP left on that Colossus. What, if anything, can he do with it? Deja Vu working with great dedication on that experimental bomber that seems to be around 33% done. But Chico has brought back that Monkey Lord, but he can't seem to get a solution and is just taking fire relentlessly on it. Luckily there's this bank of T2 PD as well, but that's definitely going to go down. It switches targets, the Colossus to the power grid. Can he get in there to at least take out the nuke launcher? A wave of Corsairs comes in from Chico. Where on earth did that come from? Another power plant is going to bite the dust. It takes the nuke launcher with it. That at least is something for Team 2. Here's of course another experimental on the doorstep. Deja Vu's had to pull back slightly some of his build capacity temporarily from building that bomber, but that still continues unperturbed. 50% or so done now. They kill my nuke and his anti-nuke, so if Team 2 had an anti-nuke, they may well be laughing right about now, but unfortunately, or sorry, had a nuke, they may be laughing, but I don't think they do. I stand corrected. There is one sitting there in the center of Soviet Pride's extended base over here, in amongst a ton of power and shield generators. "41 minutes gone in this game. 118,000 reclaim into Deja Vu's pockets. 107,000 into Soviet Pride, not far behind. So these guys, very much the core of their teams. Deja Vu's doing a fantastic job at carrying Team 1 and has managed to complete that experimental bomber. He's got to keep it away from Jultek's ASFs though, and it's coming right down the middle, or at least it looked like it was going to. It stops on a dime, that thing. It is going to circle while he decides what to do with it. Needs to keep it away from Jultek at all costs. This could be a game-winning experimental if he can use it correctly. If he can help lure these ASFs into a fight over the top here, it might be enough to give them the advantage if he can keep the bomber alive. Thing is, there just aren't enough ASFs on the field for Team 1, I don't think. Wassell's got a few. Chico has been predominantly building Corsairs. They're not going to be of a great help in keeping that experimental bomber alive. Soviet Pride comes up with yet another Monkey Lord. There's just Monkey Lord wrecks everywhere. But this time Chico's going to get the better of that exchange because he's accompanied by Deja Vu's Othams and of course that shield gen there. Still taking fire from the sniper bots though, and they've lured away Jultek's ASFs to deal with it. That's all Deja Vu, and he's coming overhead with the experimental bomber. The strategic launch goes out from the bottom left. He's going straight after Jultek's comm, wants to take that air out of the game. Bombs away, going straight after the commander. It lands, doesn't kill him though, and I don't think he's going to get another chance. Meanwhile, that nuke beelining straight for the top left of Team 1's base area, going after Wassel. It does get another bomb away. Is it going to snag the comm? No, it's not. Wassel's base is annihilated, and it takes the comm out with it. That experimental bomber gets shot down. I don't know where that second bomb landed. Must have been down here somewhere. Must have been it. But 43 minutes. Team 2 finally level the game. And Jultek's completed a Tsar as well. And the fact that they're holding on to air control now seems like this is going to be quite a monster hill to climb for Team 1 at this point. Soviet Pride still posturing with the Monkey Lord down here, but he's going to be facing off against 2. Boyke's taken a large amount of damage on his already though, and so is Chico. He's going to knock down Chico's without any difficulty, and a Soul Ripper coming in to support as well. Yes, there are a lot of bangers here, but not enough to destroy a Soul Ripper. And of course a massive air advantage for Team 2. I love though what Deja Vu tried to do there. He moved his ASFs down there, he dragged Jultek away from the commander, allowed him to get the experimental bomber in, and if he'd just got that second bomb on target, he'd have knocked out Jultek, and there would have been the air advantage gone. But it was not to be. Chico coming in after the Soul Ripper though might be successful in taking it down. Oh my god, 70 hit points, WTF, and it finally gets knocked out by one single. Oh, he's got to have a picture of a Soul Ripper spray painted on the side of his ASF. That was outrageous, buddy. That's all you. One kill. Yeah, I got one kill. There's a Soul Ripper, baby. What a legend. But it's not going to be enough in the grand scheme of things, I shouldn't think. Look at this nasty amount of units amassing for Team 2. And Soviet Pride's even bold enough to get his engineers right up here and start working on this Monkey Lord graveyard. Deja Vu comes in to try and deny this reclaim mission, manages to take out all of the engineers, but isn't going to be able to keep his units alive for too long. Down they go. He was thinking of trying to get in there himself. That ain't going to happen. Chico, who is a true water baby, spent his entire game basically sitting in the river. Made contact with a couple of bricks there from Soviet Pride. But now it looks like the final push, or what looks like it should be the final push, is about to begin. We've got a Tsar, we've got a Monkey Lord, we have a ton of T3 land. One Monkey Lord coming out there for Boki, but it's not going to last too long. Down it goes, and the Tsar goes straight for Deja Vu. He's taking a lot of damage and gets zapped out of the sky. The amount of anti-air there is pretty outrageous. Lands on top of Deja Vu, takes him down to just 500 hit points. He's on the run. It's being pinged furiously though. Breathe on him, says Black Phoenix. Literally breathe on him. He's done well. He's managed to rebuild his nuke launcher in the process, but he's got a Monkey Lord and a Soul Ripper coming after him. And there's no getting away from that. Down he goes, and I think that's going to be the end of Team 1. GG's being thrown up all round. A whole bunch of Suthanus there at the edge of this little mountain, this little hillock for Black Phoenix, just lobbing artillery shells over the top onto Bocky's base. Soviet Pride knocking down all of these units, takes the nuke launcher out. Monkey Lord number 1098. Yes, indeed. You just can't get comedy like this in other games. It doesn't exist. Sopgon players are all of the funniest gamers on the planet. True story. And that is definitely going to be the end of Team 1. Valiant effort though, and I think it would have been a very different game indeed had they managed
Strategic launch detected.
knock out Jultek there. And another nuke comes out of Soviet Pride's base. Straight across the map. Chico, or Bocky, who was it? It was Chico, succumbs to the brick invasion. Nukes comes flying across, going to kill more friendlies than hostiles, I think. Finishes off Soviet Pride's own Monkey Lord that was actually closing in on the comm. But too much unrelated fire is not good for your health, and Bocky succumbs. Well, I hope you enjoyed that, guys. As always, more to come from me in the future. In the meantime, stay well and stay safe. This is Gyle, signing out.